Hi, Paula. I'm in a really big hurry tonight. I just found out I have company coming. It's my brother and his wife from Las Vegas, Nevada. And today is Mother's Day, and he said they'd be here in like an hour and a half. And so I'm trying desperately to come up with stuff that I have on hand to put together a really nice meal for Mother's Day, especially since she is a first-time mom this year. So here's what I came up with. I had just bought some of those nice big portobello caps at the grocery store. And I thought, okay, I'll make stuffed mushroom caps. And so here's what I've got going. I have already cooked 2 pieces of bacon, and I cut those up into really small pieces first. And then I'm sauteing in the bacon drippings. I'm sauteing red bell pepper. Red onion, 3 scallions chopped really finely, and 4 portobello, just regular size portobello mushrooms. And that's it. And I'm going to get those all sauteed here and go see what else I've got to put in just to make it really nice sauce. I wonder if I have any Philadelphia cream cheese around. That sounds good. A little garlic. I forgot to tell them that I put a stalk of celery in there too. I think I'll put just 1/4 of a teaspoon of some garlic powder. Gotta have a little garlic flavor in there. Okay. Oh, okay. So we're all back, ready to go. I found more things in the pantry and in the refrigerator that I thought would be good in these stuffed mushroom caps. And now I'm going to add, well, first, let's see. Now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons. I'm going to start with like 1.5 tablespoons here of flour, along with, I'll start with 1 tablespoon of butter. I just want to see what I'm attempting to do here is to get a little bit of a thickness going. I don't want a gravy. I don't really want a roux. I don't want a bechamel sauce, but what I want is the base for, I'll put another tablespoon of butter in. I want a nice base for melting my cheeses in and some sour cream. And guess what I found in the pantry? I found some crab meat. It's just the canned crab meat. And I got it draining, and I thought that would just complement that bacon so nicely. And it would be really yummy in here, since these are basically vegetarian. Of course, you could leave out the bacon and you could leave out the crab meat and go vegetarian, either way. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So now, let me see. I just want to turn off the heat, and I will add in my cheeses. I still have some basil I want to chop up though. Okay, there's a 3 cheese. That's a 1/4 cup of a shredded 3 cheese, and I'm going to try 1/4 of a cup also of sour cream. And the cream cheese. Now remember, I turned the heat off, so I think it'll be fine in here. Everything's just going to kind of melt down. And while that's kind of melting in, I've got fresh basil leaves. I think I've got 10 there. I've stacked them all together. I'm going to roll them up, and I'm just going to chop them into ribbons. I'm not going to leave them in the ribbons, though. I'm going to further chop them. Nothing like fresh basil. I'm so excited that it's this time of year. You know, I don't know how much anybody knows about Mother's Day, but I was doing some reading up on it. You know, I was curious to see just exactly when it came about here in the United States. Oh, but before I start telling you that, I'm going to also add in a teaspoon of dried thyme leaves. But it seems that back in 1870, a woman named Julia Ann Howe, who actually 12 years earlier had written the Battle Hymn of the Republic, but now 12 years later, it's during the Civil War, and this woman is very upset and very distraught because all she's seeing are sons killing other mothers' sons. And so she wrote this proclamation and submitted it to Congress at the time, proclaiming a Mother's Day where everybody would honor the mothers of all of these sons that had passed on during war and everything. And boy, I couldn't agree with her more. But anyway, it took years and years for it really to come into being, and a lot of other people working hard on it. But you know, the really strange thing after reading about Mother's Day was that to find out how far back it goes. It was actually prevalent in ancient Egypt, in ancient Rome. All of those, they had their own deities that they would pronounce as being the mother of creation. And in Egypt, that was Isis. And I can't remember the Roman name one, but it's pretty interesting. And also interesting that almost every single other country in the whole world has an official Mother's Day. So we're not the only ones. A lot of them do celebrate it at the very same time that we do, the second weekend of May. But others have it other times of the year. But it's all basically for the same thing. I mean, actually, what would we do without mothers anyway? I mean, we wouldn't be here. So, okay, everything's set. We're ready to stick these in the oven. I preheated the oven to 400 degrees. That was just the most perfect amount to stuff these 4 huge portobello caps. And so now what I've done, I'm putting I made a little topping. I thought it needed a little crunch on top. So what I did was melted 3 tablespoons of butter and added a half a cup of the panko breadcrumbs, the Japanese ones. I really like those. They really work good in these kind of situations. And then I added 1/4 cup of the shredded Asiago, Parmesan, and Romano cheeses again. Now you don't have to use that particular kind. I just think I'm trying to go for more of an Italian flavoring in this with the basil and the basil and the thyme and the crab meat and everything. So now, there we go. Okay, they're beautiful. I'll stick them in the oven for 15 minutes. They're already pretty much cooked. We just want to melt that cheese and they'll be ready to go. Wow, hi everybody. I've got it all ready. It's out of the oven. They turned out perfect. Oh, you just can't believe. I mean, look at these. Oh, they turned out golden brown, just right. Oh, they smelled heavenly. I just was looking at some more of these. I want to give you a few more little Mother's Day factoids for modern day. Okay, the National Retail Foundation predicts that Mother's Day this year will be a $14 billion industry. Wow, that's amazing. Florists have their highest sales in the month of May. U.S. restaurants claim that this is the busiest day of the year for them. And long-distance phone calls are at their peak right before and after Mother's Day. And according to Hallmark, 96% of American consumers take part in shopping on Mother's Day, and they report it to be their second highest gift-giving day throughout the whole year, just second to Christmas. Those are amazing facts. Well, I'm going to try a little bite. I've got some over here already cut. This made plenty. I have one more left, and this looks like it would easily feed not just the 4 of us, but 6 or 8 people probably. So let me take a bite. But right now I'd like to make a little toast. I know that my brother and I will. We lost our mother about a little over 7 years ago. And so I've got a vintage plate. Just everything today is remembering my mom. And the grass over here, it's actually wheatgrass, but it reminds me of when I was a child growing up and playing in the grass. And oh, special days like this, we would go to the park, or we would have family reunions at little parks, and it was all very special. I have a lot of fond memories of growing up, and I know my brother does too. And this, if you're wondering why I use this scarf, that's one of my mom's scarves, and it just reminds me of her, and I love to see it. I love the colors, and just love to feel it. And so here's to moms everywhere. Happy Mother's Day. You're always in our heart, Mom.